In crypto, speed matters, but trust matters more. At Caleb and Brown, you're never on your own. We connect you with your own personal broker and a 24/7 team, ready to help you buy, sell, or swap over 250 digital assets with one flat, transparent fee. No spreads, no slippage, no hidden costs. Get the best market prices through deep, aggregated liquidity executed by our professional trading desk. Your funds are secured with institutional-grade cold storage for total peace of mind. Track every move in real time with our intuitive client portal, anywhere, anytime. Whether you're trading as an individual, trust, or business, we give you speed, security, and peace of mind. Thousands of clients in over 100 countries already trust Caleb and Brown. Visit calebandbrown.com and start your personalized crypto journey today.
And welcome back to another episode of the Blockchain Brew Show. Today, I have a sugar-free vanilla latte brewed by the local coffee shop down the street. So I am going to start brewing it myself, guys. I was trying to get off of so many of the monsters. So there you go. And it also appears I need to adjust my label a little bit. All right, that seems to be a little better. Okay. Yeah, so first things first here, let's dive into the news. I'm just going to check a couple things real quick, make sure some of my tabs are running over here. And okay, we should be good to go. Now, first things first, guys, in the news, I'm going to come and look at a couple articles over here before I go to Twitter. I'm also going to turn the music down just a tad. And that's better. Okay, so, well, first I gotta share my screen before I do anything, guys. This is a rough morning. Let's see. And if you're joining us here on the Blockchain Brew Show, don't forget to smash the like button. YouTube is a hard grind, and without clear calls to action, you know, it's hard to grow. So smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and become a part of the Brew Crew, the most hydrated community on YouTube. And let's dive on in here to this article. What we have here on Cointelegraph is Bitcoin set to beat red September dip for the third straight year. Red September, also known as bearish September, as the little jingle goes. Remember, bearish September. Red September is Bitcoin's worst month, but rate cut hopes and institutional momentum could extend its winning streak. Bitcoin snapped a 3-year streak of negative summer average returns, but now enters its worst month, known as Red September. September carries the dreaded nickname because it has delivered the lowest monthly returns for Bitcoin, averaging negative 3.77% across 12 years from 2013. It's also the month China imposed a pair of major crypto bans in 2017 and 2021. That record is weighed down by 6 consecutive years of losses from 2017 to 2022. The tables turned in 2023, and Bitcoin has now posted 2 straight September gains, including its best September ever in 2024 when it closed the month up 7.29%. Now, guys, why did that happen last year? It happened because of rate cuts. So people that are telling you rate cuts are already priced in, you don't see my brew. It's right here. People that are telling you that it's already priced in, it's a sugar-free vanilla latte, by the way. That's what it is. 4 shots of espresso. So people that are telling you that rate cuts are already priced in, and therefore we're not going to get a September pump, or worse, it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news. Guys, last September, the reason the month turned green was precisely because of rate cuts. So keep that in mind. The record is weighed. Yeah, I read that. The reputation comes from equities, where September is also the weakest month for the S&P 500. It's when investors return from summer with more of a risk-off posture, and funds rebalance heading into the fourth quarter. And so you see here the average percentage change of all months. January has an average percentage change of 1.18, and this is in the equities market, guys, the S&P 500 and stocks. 0.5, 1.3 in April. July has 1.71. So July is actually the best month for equities in the S&P. I'm not sure why. It's definitely not known to be the best month for crypto. Let's see, the gloom often doesn't last. September's losses have historically given way to October or Uptober, a month that has delivered gains in 6 consecutive years and only 2 losses in Bitcoin's history, according to CoinGlass. And there you have it, Bitcoin monthly returns. 2024 saw a 7% gain in September, followed by a 10% gain in October, and it's usually a down month for September, and in bull runs, it's usually a very big move for October. So if you go back to 2020, even during the halving year, it was a 27% gain in October. We had a 10% gain in October of last year. And I don't know. I think that we do get one of those bigger Octobers this year with all of the ETFs pending approval coming due in October, not coming due for another delay, but the SEC has to approve or deny. You have XRP, Solana, Cardano, and there's several others that I think have a final deadline in October. It's hard to keep track of anymore because new filings keep coming out, but the final deadline for those is not going to be October, right? Like a Dogecoin ETF just recently got filed, and the final deadline for that is not going to be October. But at the very least, Solana, XRP, and Cardano have a final deadline in October that must be approved or denied for the SEC. So it leads me to believe that we're going to see one of these bigger months for October. September, I think, is going to be a good month. Not nearly as good as October, but I do believe it's going to be a good month. And, given the rate cuts, we may even pierce a new all-time high in September. Then quickly retest it, and then really rip in October. We will see. Also, we have never, any time that we've gotten a green September, this thing right here only shows through November. But if it had December on here as well, what you would see is that anytime we've gotten a green September, we've also had a green October, November, and December. So, guys, I mean, that doesn't guarantee it to happen again. We could get a green September leading to a green October, November, and December until December falls over and fails a Santa rally or something. It's not guaranteeing the future. Of course, we can't do that. Real Meta says, where would we be at if we closed 10% in September? Well, let's see. The candle opened in September at $108,208. So a 10% gain on that is 18,000. Wait, $10,800. So that's pushing right at about 120,000. So unless we right at about 120,000. So the only way I see that is like if we pierced a new all-time high and then kind of fell back to 120 for a moment, at the monthly close, then that could bring us. See, rate cuts could shoot us a little past the all-time high, but then we close the month at 10% up. If we retrace a little bit on the monthly close. So, yeah, but 10% would bring us to just a hair under 120,000. And in Bitcoin's early years, its price was scattered and not widely tracked. The asset first breached $1,000 in 2013, drawing mainstream media attention and promoting better archival records. That same year saw the launch of industry-native aggregator CoinMarketCap, followed by CoinGecko in 2014. Between 2013 and 2016, Bitcoin's September performance was evenly split, with 2 positive months and 2 negative ones. The pattern broke in 2017 during the initial coin offering boom, when Bitcoin crossed $1,000 for the second time and passed $2,000 for the first time. The speculative frenzy led China's central bank to ban ICOs on September 4th, sparking the first of 6 consecutive red Septembers. South Korea followed with its own ICO ban on September 29th, while regulators elsewhere issued warnings. And this just goes on to show the history of red Septembers, but, all of that was a very different time. And we could be here in a new era for Septembers in crypto. Let's see, the crypto industry also brings fresh speculation from August out of China, with rumors swirling that authorities could allow stablecoins pegged to the offshore yuan. So far, officials have made no such confirmation. Jerome Powell delivers dovish remarks in his final Jackson Hole speech. Yeah, we're well aware of that. Okay, so that was that. Interesting stuff, I think. Next article. Share screen. Okay, Morning Minute. This is from Yahoo Finance. And in my opinion, I think that this is some of the biggest news of the day. Morning Minute. Bitcoin and Ethereum trading is coming to the New York Stock Exchange and more. So, Tyler Warner writes this on Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. Today's top news, crypto majors are green with Solana leading. Bitcoin at $111,500. And I think it's up from that right now. Oh, yeah, it's at $112,400 or so. So, he wrote this at 5:45 in the morning, probably Eastern Standard Time. Bitcoin ETFs see $333 million of inflows, the highest day since August 8th. Ethereum ETFs see outflows. Gotta get hydrated. If I can get, let's see here. If I can get 7 likes, I'll charge my coffee. Bitcoin ETF, ETFs see $333 million in inflows, the highest day since August 8th. Ethereum ETFs see outflows. SEC and CFTC, call it by its government name, the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission, gives green light for spot crypto listing and trading for major exchanges. Solana Alpenglow upgrade approved by validators. Targets Q1 2026. Pump.fun introduces dynamic fees V1 with 10x higher creator fees. Spot crypto on US exchanges. This is the part that I'm saying is perhaps the biggest news of the day. A rare joint staff statement from the SEC and CFTC says registered U.S. exchanges are not prohibited from facilitating trading in certain spot crypto products. Translation, a real path for spot crypto trading is now visible. The SEC and CFTC issued a joint statement saying that the SEC, CFTC registered exchanges can facilitate trading of certain spot crypto asset products under current law. Yes, that means that spot Bitcoin and Ethereum trading is coming, and likely several other major cryptos. The statement is explicitly staff guidance, not a rule, but it invites filings and requests for relief and lays out what regulators will evaluate: margin, clearing, settlement, surveillance of underlying markets, and public trade data dissemination. It sits under the SEC's Project Crypto and the CFTC's Crypto Sprint initiatives. So who could list? SEC registered national securities exchange like the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, and CBOE. CFTC registered designated contract markets like the CME and many others, subject to approval. Today's joint staff statement represents a significant step forward. Market participants should have the freedom to choose where they trade spot crypto assets. This is coming from the SEC chair, Paul Atkins. Under the prior administration, the message was clear. Innovation was not welcome. That chapter is over. And that's from the CFTC acting chair, Caroline Pham. For the first time, the two market regulators are jointly investing registered exchanges to bring spot crypto into the regulated exchange stack. Soon, investors and traders are going to have many more options for where to buy, trade, and hold crypto beyond just Coinbase, Kraken, and a few other viable options. It also means that we will likely see spot plus derivatives under one roof with tighter spreads and fewer fragmented headaches. That's clearly a better user experience. Arguably the most important aspect of this announcement, though, shows Project Crypto means business and they're moving fast. This administration is showing a clear shift from enforcement first to coordination first. It means more bullish announcements like this are coming and likely soon. All of the barriers are falling down. Crypto trading will go mainstream in the United States under a regulated framework. It's happening in real time. So guys, you know, the takeaway here is that we're looking at an environment. Muffhead says the economy is crashing. Well, we don't want that. I mean, we had a we didn't have a bad what was it? TMI yesterday. The numbers that came out yesterday, the production growth came in at 53 as opposed to 53.3. So, I mean, that's signaling some strength and support in the economy, right? Like, I mean, I'm not an economist, but this is the crisis we need to get stimulus checks, rate cuts, etc. Yeah. You know, we want that return to quantitative easing, and it would be good for the economy because businesses are in tight spots by and large, and they need. Was I not showing that article the whole time? I'm sorry about that. I thought I was. Okay, well, anyways, guys, I will lock that in and stop doing that. But yeah, you know, that's the thing is that we, you know, businesses are in tight spots by and large, and they need that cheaper access, to capital in order to keep people's jobs, in order to do more hiring. You know, when rates are cut, debt becomes cheaper. When stimulus checks get sent out into the economy, businesses are able to meet their margin and grow. So we need to go negative on rates, then Bitcoin to the moon. Negative on rates? I mean, you know, I think that I think that Bitcoin goes to the moon without going negative on rates, so I don't know. In other news, we have Ondo Finance. So yesterday, there was this post here. Tomorrow, Ondo Global Markets makes its debut. 100 plus tokenized stocks and ETFs go live on Ethereum, a defining moment that brings traditional markets on chain at scale. And then we have this note down here. I'm not going to read that note. So, you know, that's big stuff. And that goes live today. And I'll come up here and show the post from today, or the thread rather. Wall Street 2.0 is here. Ondo Global Markets is now live, providing one of the largest ever selections of tokenized US stocks and ETFs on chain with the liquidity of traditional finance, starting on Ethereum. 100 plus assets now live, with hundreds more on the way. Ondo Global Markets launches with support from many of the world's leading applications and platforms, including BitGet Wallet, Trust Wallet, OKX Wallet, Gate, Chainlink, BitGet Global, Mexi, LBank, 1inch, COW, Alpaca, Layer Zero, Morpho, Gauntlet, BitGo, Fireblocks, Ledger Live, Zodia, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, RWA.xyz, Dune, Birdeye, Hold Station, Fizzin, IM Token, and more. Building for the open economy. The current investment ecosystem is broken. Global investors have historically faced barriers to accessing the $64 trillion U.S. securities market due to high fees, limited access, and transfer frictions, platform fragmentation, and geographic exclusions. These problems have persisted for decades, locking millions out of capital markets and stifling innovation. Ondo Global Markets breaks through these limitations and transforms how securities are issued, accessed, and traded. Guys, this is gigantic stuff. Setting the highest standards for tokenized equities. Ondo Global Markets represents a step change over existing tokenization platforms, solving the structural issues that have plagued on-chain equities: illiquidity, wide spreads, and persistent price dislocations. Unlike prior models that attempt to recreate liquidity, Ondo tokenized stocks inherit it directly from the traditional exchanges, enabling for the first time tokenized securities at scale with price integrity and true market depth. And while some recent versions of tokenized stocks are locked in siloed platforms, Ondos are transferable and usable across DeFi, designed for composability, automation, and integration into the broader crypto ecosystem. Ondo Global Markets delivers a next-generation feature set for tokenized stocks, ETFs, and more, including 24/7 peer-to-peer transferability, 24/5 instant mint and redemption, access to traditional exchange liquidity, and DeFi compatibility. Secured, verified, and enforced. Ondo tokenized stocks and ETFs are fully backed and secured by the U.S. stocks and ETFs held at one or more U.S. regulated broker-dealers, together with cash in transit. A third-party verification agent reviews backing daily, and an independent security agent holds a first-priority security interest in the backing assets for the benefit of token holders. Ondo tokenized stocks are issued using battle-tested practices designed to maximize bankruptcy remoteness. This is just the beginning for Wall Street 2.0. Ondo Global Markets is going multi-chain, soon expanding to Ondo Chain, BNB Chain, Solana, and more, to make U.S. markets even more accessible worldwide. And yeah, you can read more in the blog here. You know what I would really, why is access restricted? Okay. What I would do here, guys, if this is something that anyone coming on here and watching later really wants to dive more into and understand more about the nature of tokenization and traditional markets, and there's words here that are new to you or whatever, I would really suggest just copying all of this, pasting it in ChatGPT, and saying, help me understand every sub point here that's being made. Help me get a comprehensive understanding of every point in this thread. Because we should be seeking to grow and learn every day, right? We don't want to just stop at yay, tokenization, yay, Ondo. Like, we want to really understand the gravity of a $64 trillion securities market meeting the liquid, scalable, fast transaction nature of blockchain, right? So there we go. coming over here also on X. I'm going to bring the music down for this one because I'm going to play a little video for us. And we have Chairman French Hill says the crypto market structure bill, the Clarity Act, has overwhelming bipartisan support, and he hopes to get it done in the next few weeks.
Mr. Chairman, let me get your take on Mr. Chairman.
And
let me get your take on the digital assets legislation you just mentioned, the Genius and Clarity Acts. The Senate Banking Committee still discussing the framework for that Clarity Act. Senator Tim Scott chairs the committee, and he said that he believes there will be between 12 to 18 Democrats open to voting for market structure on digital assets. How are you expecting this to play out?
Well, I've really enjoyed working with Kirsten Gillibrand and Cynthia Lummis, both who've been real leaders. Chairman Tim Scott in the Senate has put together a working group on the digital assets framework. The Clarity Act in the House, which I wrote, got 78 Democrat votes here in the House. Back in July, we sent that to the Senate with really a suspension level vote. We got such overwhelming support by Democrats and Republicans. I would hope that the Senate would consider taking up the Clarity Act in their process and simply making improvements to it. I think that would be a great approach. But Tim Scott and his working group and the leadership of Subcommittee Chair Lummis and John Bozeman on the Ag Committee, they all have this at a top priority, and I hope we can get this done in the next few weeks.
there you go. So, guys, that is big stuff going on. The market structure bill, the Clarity Act, getting done in the next few weeks, according to Chairman French Hill. Guys, next few weeks, even if that extends out to 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, guys, this is coming right in the middle of rate cuts. It's coming right in the middle of a Federal Reserve pivot away from quantitative tightening. It's coming right in the middle of altcoin ETF season. Guys, the Clarity Act, getting passed in the next few weeks here is going to mean incredible things for the crypto market, incredible things for your bags, and it's going to mean incredible things for the Brew Crew, the most hydrated community on YouTube. So this is some exciting stuff going on. And without further ado, let's jump into some charting. How about that? For Bitcoin, coming in on the weekly chart, getting a nice green bounce off of the 21 week moving average. So guys, one thing that I've been saying for, well over a week now is I drew this green line here, and I'll add one for you right down here. Yeah, right there. So this range between $109,315 and $104,383, that range represents the breakout of the previous all-time high. It represents the previous support resistance flip. Okay, this is the most basic of TA here, but it's some of the most important as well. Guys, the last time that we did this sort of thing was back here when we came down to $74,500, and the range back there was between $69,932 and $74,585. And guys, it's really important to draw these in ranges. Why is it important to draw these in ranges? Because if you don't, you run the risk of the price falling under the top line of the range, and then you panic. And you do things that you shouldn't be doing, like panic sell your bag, or sell your spot bag at a loss. You act out of fear, right? Point in case, this last week's candle, it dipped under that top line, that I have here at 109.3. And it closed that candle above that line, and what did I say? I've been saying that we can wick into this range or under the range. We can close one candle under this range as long as we get back above it on the next candle. And so far, that's what's happening. Now, even if something happened and we closed this week red, I still think, look, the range is good here until 104. So, as long as we can close candles above 104, or if we close one candle underneath it, we get right back above it, then I think that we are successfully retesting this range. Okay. And why do we draw it as a range? Well, look, you had these candle closes back here around December of last year and January of this year, where we would wick above this level at 104.5, but we failed to close candles above it, right? And then we closed above it for the first time in May of this year. And when we did, we started to create a little bit of a new range. See, and then we fell on June 23rd, the week of June 23rd, or the week of June 16th, we fell underneath that 104 level again, and then we popped back above it. So in May and June, we started to create this new little area slightly above the 104 region. But guys, this this break right here is kind of turning previous resistance into support. But you got to look and ask yourself, it wasn't that great of support, right? Because it got above it, had some red candles, kind of crashed under it for a second. It was still very choppy right there until this moment right here. And then we broke through these levels as a range. We broke through the 104 to 109 range is what we did. And then we came up here to the 120 area and we started some more chop. So we started another resistance area that we need to take out and flip as support. But that's why it's important to draw these as a range, because or else you're just going to look at one number. You're going to look at this big green candle right here, and you're going to draw this top line as the support and resistance flip. The reality is there is a range that acts as a support resistance flip. So what we are still doing is we are coming back to retest this range and see if previous resistance will now hold as new support. And guys, that the market always wants to do that. So that's where we are on the weekly chart. We have beautifully gotten back above that top line right now, which happens to correspond beautifully with the 21-week moving average. So this is an incredible bounce, if we can close this week. So on the daily chart, let me flip over here, make sure I'm looking at comments. Ben, welcome in, Ben Martin. Altcoin's about to take off. Crow is about to explode. Absolutely, my guy. I'll look at Crow here in a minute. Real Meta says I might start a Crow strategic reserve for myself. Yeah, man. Let's see what we got cooking over here on the daily chart. So on the daily chart, what's really important is that we have this downtrending. Okay. We have this downtrending line of resistance here, this white line. I'll try to expand this. Okay, so we have this downtrending line here that has marked a downtrend ever since August 14th. Ever since August 14th, the daily chart has been in a confirmed downtrend. Not a longer term downtrend, okay? Like we're still making higher lows. We're still making macro higher lows. But we have been in a short-term downtrend ever since August 14th. And that downtrend was solidified by breaking this local low right here at 112. So, this downtrending line of resistance here has now been broken on the daily chart. We've closed one candle above it, and we've momentum is continuing up on this candle. So today is about to be the second candle we close above this downtrending line of resistance. It's about to be the second daily candle we close above this previous support resistance flip that I just told you about on the weekly. And it's marking a bounce off the 150 moving average, 150-day moving average. Not only that, the daily chart is about to print the bullish cross on the MACD. Call it by its government name, the moving average convergence divergence. And if we draw the other piece of this line right here, we will also see that this is a breakout of a falling wedge, right? And so the measured move of that falling wedge, we bring it to the breakout point, it's that's getting a slightly higher high at $125,300. So, then we have to see what happens there. We have to see what kind of pattern we're forming at that point that takes us above these levels at around 124. So there you go. We have this breakout of a falling wedge, this breakout of a downtrending line of resistance, this bounce from the 150 period moving average, this break above the previous support resistance flip, bullish momentum on the RSI and the stochastic RSI, as well as a bullish cross on the MACD. That's Bitcoin on the daily chart. On the 4-hour chart, I would really like to see us get back above the 200 period moving average on the 4-hour chart. That's at $114,477. That's going to be the very next major milestone, in my opinion. So given that, let's see where the liquidations are sitting at. Share this tab instead. And let me just refresh this. Make sure I'm getting live data here. Go to the 1 week. Interesting. Liquidations have thinned out a little bit. Well, yeah, so we have a big, liquidation up here at 114, 171, which is what I was just saying right here on the, where was that? The 200 period moving average coming in at 114.4. So if we can get those liquidations, knock those out, that would be nice. Liquidations on the 3-day chart. See, this is interesting because, last week, the major points of liquidations were sitting at, the largest points were sitting at $117,000. So as we've pumped and people have closed their shorts in order to hedge against, in order to mitigate loss, then, it's brought some of those liquidation levels down to 114 or so. So we'll have to see where liquidity kind of flows into the market next. We do have this down here at 106.5, but I don't know if we'll knock those out. Let's see. Yeah, you go to the 2 week and you still see all of this sitting up here. You go to the 2 week and what you find is that the largest areas of liquidations are still very much sitting above us, and a lot of it is still very much sitting at that CME gap at $117,000. So Ethereum. On the weekly, I'm going to go ahead and remove drawings. So guys, I've been pointing this out, but I have to continue to point it out because it's just such a glaring thing on the chart to me. Let's see here. Draw that line right there. So, what we see is with this green line, I'm asking the question, how much time has Ethereum ever spent in its whole existence above about $4,000? And the answer to that is about 13 weekly candles have pierced into or closed above about $4,000 for Ethereum. So what that means is that, guys, if we hold this, then we're we are setting ourselves up for a very significant move for Ethereum. And, you know, I've said it the past few days. I'm going to keep saying it, just for anyone that has not seen it yet. Guys, the difference between this time back here in 2021, when Ethereum was above $4,000, the difference between then and now is that back then, the 21 period moving average was rounding a top. Fast forward to today, and the 21 period moving average, the 21 week moving average, has rounded a bottom and is now moving up, crossing above the 150, or crossing above the 100 week moving average and the 50 week moving average, and it's moving up. So this back here was at the end of a strong move up for the 21 week moving average. This over here today is at the very beginning of a strong move up for the 21 week moving average. So, you know, the 21 week moving average tells the story about what is different right now as opposed to 2021 in terms of Ethereum sustaining over $4,000. Come down to the smaller time frames. We look at the daily chart, and we're getting a nice bounce right here. Stochastic RSI is reversing. The RSI is looking to cross bullish. The MACD is starting to round a bottom. You know, we've held above the point of control and that important green line that I drew. So that's good stuff. RSI is basically neutral on the daily. Come down to the 4 hour. Let me check in with the comments real quick over here. Bitcoin for breakfast says, "Are we dumping soon?" I forgot to switch to my charts. God, I really need to stop doing that. Are we dumping soon? Bitcoin for breakfast? No, no. We're not. You know, I'm not saying we can't go down a little bit, but you know, the moral of the story is that Bitcoin, when I go back to the Bitcoin chart over here, you know, we've broken out of a falling wedge. We've broken out of a significant downtrending line of resistance. We've broken above. We are now holding the previous support resistance flip, as we're now confirming it. We're confirming previous resistance as new support at a range between $104,300 to $109,300, and bullish cross on the MACD on the daily, bullish strength on the stochastic RSI and the RSI. So do we dump soon? I don't think so. We just broke out of a falling wedge on the daily, and the weekly is showing low stochastics, you know, which means that it's going to be hard to go too much lower. You know, if this week closes above 113.3, we're going to get a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, and we're bouncing beautifully off of the 21 week moving average. So I don't see a dump coming. I really don't. And going back down to the levels we were last week is also, it's not a dump. Like, we have to train ourselves to stop thinking that way. A 3% move down for Bitcoin is not a dump, guys. Right? But thanks for joining us, Bitcoin for breakfast. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, I'd encourage you to do so and become a member of the Brew Crew, the most hydrated crypto community on YouTube. We say the most hydrated because on every evening show, we enjoy a craft beer on the stream. We're also going to do more craft beer reviews and stuff like that. We did some content with Hops on Cardano, a Cardano project that is aiming to make a big impact on the craft beer industry through blockchain. So, fun stuff. Let's see. Man, I'm upset that I did not have my charts on the screen. I did so good until right now. Okay, Ethereum showed some of that. Just because it wasn't on the screen, I'll show you what I'm saying here. You know, in Ethereum's whole history, it spent about 13 weeks piercing into or closing candles above this upper green line that I drew right here at just above $4,000. The difference between 2021 and right now is that back then, the 21-week moving average was rounding a top over $4,000. And right now, the 21-week moving average for Ethereum has just rounded a bottom and is at the beginning of a strong move up with Ethereum over $4,000. So Ethereum is at two completely different places in terms of momentum above $4,000. So there you go. And what next? Crow. I said I would look at Crow. If anyone has anything else they want me to look at, I'll do that now. So Crow is also looking to get, to stay above this this range right here. Why did I draw this range specifically? I'm trying to remember. Basically just because it was the next volume range that I could find. We were just starting to break above the 200 moving average when I drew these green lines up here, and basically my thought was that you have this break right here between this red candle and this one, and this range also comes in the middle of this big green candle back here and these wicks coming into it back there. So it just from a volume perspective, it seems to be the next most likely spot for me. RSI and stochastic RSI are a little overbought for sure on Crow, but that can cool off without dumping. We have this wick up here at 38 cents, and what once got wicked might just get candlesticked. So there you go. Look out for that. On the 4-hour chart, on the 4-hour chart, we have a bullish cross on the MACD for Crow. Look, if you've taken profits on Crow and you're looking to use some of those profits to buy back in at a lower price, this is not a bad price here, in my opinion. We're getting above the point of control. We're forming a bullish cross on the MACD, call it by its government name, the moving average convergence divergence. And we have a breakout of a downtrend on the 4-hour. So, hey, trend lines and support and resistance, They're your bread and butter. You know, when indicators are confusing, trend lines and support and resistance should be your bread and butter. The 1 hour is looking to get above the 200 moving average right now. So, yeah, that's where I'm at for Crow. Last but not least, hey, happy birthday, John. Happy birthday, John. John, you coming in here just reminded me to do this. Labruca, I'll look at H-bar right now. I forgot about this. This is something I want to start doing on the stream, guys. And look, if I'm not trying to preach to everybody. I know that we're all here for crypto. I get it. So just don't tune me out. It's going to take me 5 seconds. So let's see. I want to share something every day from the book of Proverbs. Just a piece of wisdom for us from the book of Proverbs. So today's verse is wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. And the footnote down here on the translation says, or by fraud. Wealth gained hastily or by fraud, right? So wealth gained by fraud will definitely dwindle away. You know, at some point, wealth gained hastily, you know, if you make it quick, if you make the money quick, then you might lose it quick. You know, if you wealth gained hastily or overnight will dwindle away. But if you gather it little by little, it'll increase over time. So guys, be happy and learn to be content within yourself as you make gains little by little. Greed is the enemy. If you're not happy with gains little by little, you're not going to be happy with anything. If you're not grateful for gains, and look, I know some of us out there are in tough positions where we really need to swing for the fences. I get it. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that, you know, we live in a world where there's a floating city in Nigeria where people live on houses that are propped up on stilts, and they all live on top of the water, and they all poop through a hole in the floor into the water that they fish out of. So guys, like, if you're not thankful for gains that come little by little, you're not going to suddenly become a thankful person and a grateful person with a grateful attitude if you get rich overnight. Getting rich overnight is not going to change your heart. It's going to change your external. That's all it's going to do. So anyways, that's my tidbit for today. I'll get off of that for right now. John 3:16 says, Matthew 7:6, do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to the swine. If you do, they may. Yeah, amen. Okay, so coming over here to H-bar. And we're doing H-bar for Labruca. Yeah, for Labruca. All right, let's see here. HBZ. You can tell that the coffee's kicking in now because I just called H-bar HBZ. It is not morning anymore. I'm getting into that afternoon, that early afternoon energy a little bit. It's different than Monster Energy though. It took it a little while to kick in, but. Let's see here. HBZ. on the weekly chart. Okay, so we have this double bottom coming in right here on the weekly chart. Okay, I'm hesitant. See, I look for an inverse head and shoulders everywhere. You know, I'm hesitant to say that this is an inverse head and shoulders, but why not? I mean, we'd have a little bit of a downtrending neckline, and then the break of that neckline would show up here at 47 cents, which would challenge new all-time highs. So actually, I think that is the pattern that we're looking at. Why? Because I just shortened my line right here. I don't know how that happened. So look, it makes sense to me that we are forming a pattern right now on H-bar that would challenge previous all-time highs, because we're entering into a phase of there was one important thing I said earlier on the stream. Hey, Trade Intuition, what is up? I got to get back to you on Telegram, man. Sorry about that. Duality C, welcome in. Look, it makes sense to me that that we're forming a pattern right now on H-bar that would challenge previous all-time highs, because we're entering into a season fundamentally of rate cuts, altcoin ETF season in October. And there was one more thing that I just said earlier in the stream. Oh, the Clarity Act, the market structure bill. We listened to that video earlier in the stream where the senator said, hey, in the next few weeks, this could be passed. So you have like dominoes, bam, rate cuts, Clarity Act, altcoin ETF season. So, you know, even though this doesn't look like a super, super clean inverse head and shoulders to me, it does make sense that we would be forming a pattern here that would with a measured move that would challenge all-time highs. Now, just for fun, let's see if we don't arrive at that same conclusion with a different method. Remove some of those and come over here and grab my ARC. So, you know, there's you could see a sort of cup and handle right here as well. With you know, a falling wedge as the handle, and you know, that would challenge all-time highs as well. So let me go ahead and remove some of these. Remove this. So I do see us you know, breaking out of this. You know, either way you spin it, we made a double bottom right here. Let me get back to my brush. So we made a double bottom right here, and there was a slightly lower low. I mean, the RSI was dead even, but the stochastic had this, we had this swing down on price with a swing up on the stochastic, showing some form of bullish divergence. Come down to the daily chart. Either way, we bounced bullish off of this double bottom, broke above the 21-week moving average, and now we are retesting the 21-week moving average as support. So, yeah, I think we move up from here, and I think that this retest is a good entry for H-bar. As always, mitigate your risk. But there you go. And that being said, if you do want to, I want to show you guys something else too in our VIP channels for Discord. Let me see here. Did you look at Crow already? I did. Yeah, so guys, real quick, coming over here to Twitter, share this tab instead. Guys, if you are new to trading and you have no business risking large amounts of your own capital in leverage trading, but you want to get your feet wet, a good way to do it is to use our link with BYDFi and to trade with your deposit bonus. When you deposit $100, you get a $60 bonus with our link. When you deposit $500, you get a 20% bonus at $100. When you deposit a grand, you get a 20% bonus at $200. And when you deposit $5,000, you get a 20% bonus at $1,000. You don't need to meet a minimum trading volume requirement to get that bonus. So you could deposit, get your bonus, and then just simply trade with your bonus. And you can withdraw your deposit if you want. So this is why I'm saying if you're new to trading or if you've taken a lot of losses in trading, then if you have no business trading with large amounts of your own capital, then just snag your bonus and trade with your bonus. You also get 20%, and it's not to my benefit to tell you to withdraw money, okay? Because we get commission on trading fees. So yeah, part of me wants you to go trade with the whole $5,000, right? But I'm just telling you, if you want to come up, then get your bonus, trade with your bonus. And you also get 20% discount on fees with VIP2 status with our link. Now coming over to our Discord, guys, if you deposit at least $100 on BYDFi with our link, then you can get access to the VIP signals in our Discord. Let me make sure those are up and showing right here. And I'll zoom in on this for you guys. We have these VIP channels down here. Announcements and a VIP chat, and then 3 signal channels. Scalp signals, which, last night at 10:43 p.m., it gave us this signal right here on Ondo. And it tells you to use 5x leverage. It doesn't always tell you how much leverage to use. Like up here, it didn't, a lot of times it doesn't, but sometimes the signal will even tell you how much leverage to use. Guys, what this is the BYDFi bot in the Discord is aggregating data from all of the top ROI traders on the BidFi exchange. And it's aggregating that data and then pumping out these signals to the Discord. So if you are a trader that has not developed the discipline of setting a stop loss or setting a take profit, and you need to exercise that muscle and develop that discipline, then this is a good way to just take these signals and just do what they say. Like, why? Because you're not going to get liquidated. Because you're setting stop losses. You're building that habit. right? You're developing that discipline. And so it had this long entry. Now last night, I'm not, depending on when this signal came out, I'm not sure if you would have got this entry this low. Let me go. Well, I'm not going to waste time to go look, but you get the point. Entry. So this is like, this would be doing well right now, and it gives you 5x leverage, an entry range, a stop loss, and 6 take profit levels. In the swing signals last night, it has this long on Altcoin. It doesn't tell you how much leverage on this one, but it gives you an entry range, a stop loss, and 4 take profit levels. And it gives you the chart underneath it. This is my favorite channel, is the market analysis. Just in case you didn't see it yesterday, I'm going to give you the one from September 1st. It says trading pair, ETH USDT quick trade idea. Here's a quick look at the potential buy the dip setup on Ethereum. The price is testing a very strong support zone, which looks like a great spot for a bounce. Why I'm bullish here? Trend support. The orange 25 EMA line has acted like a springboard. For the price during this whole uptrend. We're testing it again. Price flip zone, the gray box between 3,900 and 4,150 was a ceiling before. Now that we're above it, it should act as a strong floor. My plan, entry around $4,200 to $4,300. Target, first goal is the previous high at $4,850 with a longer term target near $6,000. Safety net, stop loss below $3,800. If the support breaks, we get out. Simply put, we're betting on a bounce from a key area in a strong uptrend with a clear safety plan. Keywords there is a clear safety plan, right? That's the part that most of us mess up. And if you're really bad at getting a clear safety plan, that's one reason why these Discord signals could be very good for you. It's completely free right now because access to our Discord is free until we hit 500 subscribers. The only thing you need to do to get access to the VIP channels is to deposit $100 in your BYDFi account. But that's your money that you're trading with. You're not paying us for it. Yes, it does incentivize you to trade, and then we make commission off fees. But like literally, you're not paying us for it. After we hit 500 subscribers, yes, we will start charging $10 a month to get into our Discord. So that would be a $10 barrier to entry. But simply put, we're betting on a bounce from a key area in a strong uptrend with a clear safety plan. Disclaimer, this is my personal trade, not financial advice. Always do your own research and manage your risk. Good luck. And it gives you the chart right here, the orange line, the 25 exponential moving average that we have bounced off from at all of these key levels. And, last night it gave a whole breakdown on theta. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there you go. So let's see here. Welcome in again, Trade Intuition. Thank you for the support and the engagement. We look forward to doing some content with you. Muffhead, it's hard to get excited about crypto at all in the short term. 6 months, sure. I just see more pain in the near term. World Liberty Finance was bearish. Yeah, but most things are bearish on their launch. I'm bullish in the short term. I'm bullish Q4. The only question in my mind is, do we end up sort of making a local top in December, and then we find out that the cycle continues into Q1? That's the part that I don't think we know until we know. But for right now, I'm bullish in the near term. I'm bullish Q4. We have rate cuts, Clarity Act, and altcoin ETF season coming up. So there you go. Did anyone give a coin that I did not do yet? I don't think so. I don't think so. So last thing, I'm going to do Cardano Spotlight very quickly. While I do it, if anyone has any other coins, I'll look at it before I go. XRP, cool. I'll keep that on deck while I do AVAX. Okay, I'll keep those on deck while I do Cardano Spotlight real quick. Let's see over here. Okay, share this tab instead. Lily over here, if you've never seen the, if you've seen the We're Cardano Girls meme, then you know who Lily is. She said, I've never been so bullish on Charles Hoskinson for his strength and continuous drive to push Cardano forward, even when things have been tough. The audit report has been released, the truth always comes out, and karma has no mercy. Now let's get back to building. So guys, at the beginning of this year, there were like some allegations against Charles, accusing him of, mishandling like accusing him and IOG of basically stealing 90 million ADA or something like that. And that whole debacle was from the Cardano ICO in 2017, and all of this was unclaimed ADA in the ICO that people did not claim. And so what, is 90 million ADA just supposed to sit there? Like in the real world, if you don't claim, in the real world, if you have funds that are left unclaimed, there's a wait period, or there's a there's an end period to your ability to claim those funds, right? This is just like anything else. So there was a full audit that happened, and here it is. The public accusations included 5 principal allegations. 1, Cardano insiders stole or otherwise misused ADA that should have been allocated to voucher holders. 2, improper sales tactics were used in connection with the voucher program. 3, Cardano blockchain upgrades were designed to make it difficult to redeem vouchers. 4, Cardano blockchain upgrades deleted voucher holders' private keys or assets. And 5, that and that is not true, by the way. Like only the keys that were holding those unclaimed funds in an unclaimed wallet, right? No one's private keys were deleted. Come on. That Cardano insiders had no legal right to send unredeemed ADA to Cardano development holdings and decide how to spend it. We are pleased to report, as stated in the investigative report, the investigation determined that each of the allegations related to the topics of investigation do not have any basis. Importantly, the investigative report determined that 14,282 vouchers, 99.2%, consisting of all of this ADA sold pursuant to the voucher program, have been successfully redeemed through the on-chain redemptions and post-sweep redemption project. So guys, the ICO in 2017 was a raging success. 99% of all of the ICO tokens were claimed. Guys, if that other 0.8% is never going to get claimed, then it should go back into the treasury. It should go back into the development of the chain, for God's sakes, right? So it is what it is, and the results of a full-scale audit came out and said that Charles did not do anything wrong. Here we have breaking news. Midnight to be the first Cardano asset listed on Binance and Coinbase. Charles revealed that Midnight tokens could become the first Cardano native assets that will be listed on both Binance and Coinbase. What other Cardano native assets follow? So guys, the Midnight launch is going to be absolutely massive, and it's going to be the most important thing that's ever happened for Cardano, and one of the most important things that's ever happened for crypto. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but I'm being serious. Like, if you have never looked into Midnight tokenomics, guys, selective disclosure and privacy is a game changer for I gotta go, but leaving stream on for watch time hours. Thank you, Trade Intuition. I appreciate that. So guys, the Midnight, I'm going to do a whole nother video where I cover Midnight tokenomics, but I'll leave it at this right now. There is no other tokenomic system in crypto like Midnight. There you go. So we have XRP, AVAX, Aerodrome, and DOT. Kick us off with a little XRPZ. I'm going to do all of these on the daily chart. Well, I'll work through some time frames. I'll just do it quickly. On the daily for XRP, we have a double bottom here and support holding above the 100 daily moving average. Stochastics are bringing momentum back up. RSI is about to cross bullish, and MACD is looking to round the bottom and cross bullish. We want to see us get above the 21-day moving average at $2.94, and then come and challenge this zone of resistance up here at $3.16. On the weekly for XRPZ, we're in this spot right here where we're looking to get this bounce off of the 21-week moving average, or so far we've bounced above it. Coming down to the also, I would say that never mind that. Okay, 4-hour chart. We set this bullish divergence back here, at least on the stochastic. Right, bullish divergence came in here on the stochastics. The MACD is pulling above the signal line, crossing above the signal line right now, and the 21 moving average is rounding a bottom. XRP right now is hard to chart, and my takeaway from that is that it's going to just kind of exist sideways until Bitcoin confirms a larger move up. So XRP is going to be boring until it's not, unfortunately. What was the next? Okay, we've got AVAX, Aerodrome, and DOT. Ben Martin says, don't forget to take profits once you get your initial buy-in out. It's all house money, and there's less panicking on the dips. Exactly, I agree. Oh, he's sharing his screen. All we see is Twitter. Dang it. Again. Okay. Let me fix that. share this tab instead. All right. So I'm not going to redo the XRP. Let's go AVAX. Now, you heard my takeaway, though. XRP is going to be boring in the short term until Bitcoin starts breaking above at least 115, I think. AVAX on the 4-hour chart, these moving averages are starting to flip up here. You know, the 21 is looking to cross above the 100, the 50, and the 150. So that's good. You know, we have these levels. Right here, we're running into a major area of resistance. Because if you just look at if I bring more of the price history into the chart right here, just look at how much price action is below that green line versus how much is above it, right? So for all of August, guys, going back to mid-July, and I would venture to say for a very long time, guys, all year. Even though I'm on the 4-hour chart, I can still tell that all year, being above this green line has been short-lived. So, you know, AVAX really is in a place where, you know, right now the 4-hourly candle is rejecting off of this green line. But once AVAX can hold above this green line, then it's probably going to rip really significantly. But that's going to take a little more time, in my opinion, probably until rate cuts. Let's see, what else? Waiting for ADA to pop, exactly. Aerodrome. Aerodrome is going to do damage, guys. So we have this strong bounce on the daily chart. Okay, Aerodrome is one of the better looking altcoins that I've seen today on the daily chart because of the fact that the stochastics got so low and rounded a bottom, and they're moving back up, and it's still below the dotted line. So that means all the momentum is above us for Aerodrome. The MACD is rounding a bottom, a histogram moving from red to neutral, and we've bounced strongly off of the 50-day moving average. So, you know, let's go down to the lower time frames and see what we can do. As a 4-hour, looking to stay above the 200 period moving average right now, which is very significant. You know, back here when we were able to hold above it, it led to a very significant move. So there you go. I think that this is not a bad place to trade Aerodrome, in my opinion. You can set there's 2 ways I would do this. There's 2 ways I would mitigate risk on an Aerodrome trade like this. Is if you're going to go high leverage, then you got to set a tight stop loss. And you do that by setting your stop underneath the 200 moving average. I think you're going to get taken out if you do that, though, because it can kind of fiddle around right here before it goes up, or it can just fall over. So we do have this bullish divergence on the RSI, swing down on price with a swing up on the RSI, and that's led to the momentum we're seeing right now. The way I would prefer to trade this is I would mitigate risk by spending less money on the trade, going a little bit lower leverage, and running it without a stop loss, right? And I know that people would eat me alive for saying run without a stop loss. But look, the math is really easy. If you're going to go high leverage and you put in a stop underneath a tight stop underneath the 200, and that's what people preach to you all the time, right? Tight stop, tight stop, tight stop. Well, if hitting your tight stop is going to lose you $500 and you're okay with losing $500, then how about you make your whole position $500, right? And you run without a stop. That way, if you get liquidated, you lose the same amount that you would have lost on a tight stop. And then you make it to where your liquidation is underneath this low back here, because what you're betting on off of this bullish divergence and a break above the 200 is you're betting on knocking out these highs and getting up to this moving average right here at 125, 127. You're betting on getting up to these moving averages before you break these lows. That's your bet. So that's the way I would trade Aerodrome right now. Let's see here. Polkadot for our boy DCA and Prey. He's still on his DCA is still on his Polkadot, man. We're definitely not fans of DOT here on the channel. But if you have a bag, we want everyone to make money. Yeah, Polkadot is one of those coins that's like still under its 200-day moving average. And there's a whole category of coins that are above it, right? Like ADA is well above its 200-day moving average. Ethereum is way above its 200-day moving average. XRP is a good deal above its 200-day moving average. Solana is well above its 200-day moving average, right? This 200-day moving average is the thing right now that's separating larger caps from mid caps, right? It's the 200-day. Like, watch, go to NEAR, and NEAR is under the 200-day. Go to GRT. I love GRT, but it's under its 200-day. ICP. I like ICP's tech, but it's under its 200-day, meaning it's got a little ways to go before proving itself here. Now that can also mean like more upside ahead because it hasn't gotten its real move yet. But until it can make that break, you run the continued risk of getting up here to the 200 and rejecting. You run that continued risk until it finally breaks above. So, like, it's not an attractive trade to me right now because you may sit here holding the trade for a while. Yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts about the DOT chart. So There you go. Yeah, so far good. So far so good on this stream. This has been one of the better morning streams, I think. Been at it for an hour 40 minutes, and I think we're going to call it a day and sign off here. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your engagement, and thank you for being a member of the Brew Crew, the most hydrated crypto community on YouTube. Cheers. And just for fun and just to add a little bit more watch time to the stream today, I'm going to play both of our intro videos on the way out. And that way, if anyone just happens to click on here, they at least see our affiliate link opportunities.
In crypto, speed matters, but trust matters more. At Caleb & Brown, you're never on your own. We connect you with your own personal broker and a 24/7 team, ready to help you buy, sell, or swap over 250 digital assets with one flat, transparent fee. No spreads, no slippage, no hidden costs. Get the best market prices through deep, aggregated liquidity executed by our professional trading desk. Your funds are secured with institutional-grade cold storage for total peace of mind. Track every move in real time with our intuitive client portal, anywhere, anytime. Whether you're trading as an individual, trust, or business, we give you speed, security, and peace of mind. Thousands of clients in over 100 countries already trust Caleb & Brown. Visit calebandbrown.com and start your personalized crypto journey today.
you.